Airgun Nation.
Hey everybody, Michael Wendt, Airgun Nation here. Today, I'm going to give you my first impressions of the brand new FX Impact M3. Wow. I've owned a few different versions of the Impact. I had the original MK1, its successor, the Impact X. I skipped the MK2, and now I've got the MK3. Sorry, the M3. On top, I mounted the brand new Element Optics Titan 5-25 by 56 first focal plane scope, 34mm tube. This scope is a beast. Supporting it, have the FX 34mm adjustable scope mounts. Using an Atlas bipod, third-party rail extender, and I added a bit of vinyl camouflage wrap to make it my own. Other than that, this airgun is bone stock. I haven't even cleaned the barrel. I did, however, tune it to my liking in my garage, shooting over a chronograph into a shot box. So why don't we go over that real quick? As you can see, I opted for the 700mm barrel. This is a 22 caliber. It has the 720 power plenum, which is 72 cc's power plenum. So I should be able to shoot anything from the lightest pellets to the heaviest 22 caliber slugs. May opt for a slug power kit in the future, but I think this will be plenty of power for what I plan on doing in the near future. So as far as my settings, I haven't touched regulator 1. Came to me, it looks like about 200 bar. Not sure how accurate that manometer is. The second regulator, which is going to control most of your shots, I have at just under 100 bar, about 90 bar. And then on the power wheel here, let's see if we can see this. I have the power wheel set as low as it can go on one of 16 settings. And then the quick tune system, I have set just over 2. This quick tune is new. You don't have to use the Allen key and see if there's any slack sliding around in there. It's got a positive click and lots of adjustments. So make sure you pay attention which way you're turning that dial. 1 obviously being the lowest, 5 being the highest amount of power. But that's just for fine micro adjustments. And let's see, the valve return here, I have just over 3 lines right there. Yeah, that's how I've got this set. It's shooting the 18 grains at 890 feet per second, and it is just sipping air, and it's ridiculously quiet. Do a couple shots here. Maybe you can hear it. Yep. So, one other thing to note is the safety is actually moves in the opposite direction that it used to move in. They did this because when it was on fire and the pole was in the vertical position, it was getting in the way of a lot of competition shooters, and they were actually turning the safety on while they're trying to cycle the bolt fast. So they reversed that. Something to note there. First impressions. Everything about the Impact M3 seems more refined than the previous generations. Everything from the trigger to the fine adjustments to the positive clicks to the cocking block to the cocking lever to the smoothness. even this little release and how the magazine locks into the well, nice with a solid click. Everything just seems more refined, and like all of the tolerances seem quite a bit tighter than the previous generations I've owned. So enough talking. Let's put some pellets downrange and see how it does. Here we are in the shooting shack. The weather conditions are less than ideal. We've got some thunderstorms coming in, but I think we've got enough time to send some lead downrange before they arrive. The first 4 pellets I'm going to try are all about 18 grain. We'll start out with the JSB Exact Jumbo Heavy, and then we'll do the H&N Barracuda 18s, and then the H&N Barracuda Hunter and Hunter Extremes. We're at 50 yards as usual, and I've got a splatterburst target, the sight-in type with all the little 1-inch squares set up downrange. So I'll use the left side of the target to sight in each pellet, and then 1 square aiming point on the right side to see what kind of groups we can get. Let's do it. Start out with the JSB Jumbo Heavy, 18 grain. All right, that was a good group. Kind of what I expected. I believe FX makes most of their smooth twist superior liners based around the JSB pellets, so that wasn't too big of a surprise for me. Let's see how the H&N Barracuda 18 grain go. See what kind of group we can get. Next we'll try the Barracuda Hunter. These pellets have such a big, deep, hollow point. Just a big, wide hollow point right at the head. And boy, when they make impact on something solid, like a critter or something, they pop. Much like the Predator polymags. Oh, that was about an inch down and to the right. Yep, see, all pellets fly differently. Five-shot group with the H&N Barracuda Hunter. Not too bad. Not as good as the others, but now let's try the H&N Barracuda Hunter Extreme. These are shiny. Take a look at that. Oops. Probably the worst group of this bunch here. Okay, I detuned it just a hair. So first we'll be shooting the Hades, 15.9 grain. And then the Exact Jumbo, 15.9 grain. And then the Predator Polymags, 16 grain. Assuming they fit in the magazine. Haven't even tried yet. But I don't have any 16 grain pellets from H&M, so those are the three we're going with. We had a flyer. Well, that's 5. Next, we'll shoot the Jumbo Exact, 15.9 grain. Oh, by the way, I detuned it just a little bit so that these are shooting 880 feet per second. Wow. Okay. Alright, well, pretty good group. We still had one partial flyer. I am trying to shoot in between the breeze here. Let's see if the polymags will fit. Nope. Okay. Polymags do not fit. Back to the garage and do some chrony work over into the shot box to tune that so we can shoot the 21 grain Barracudas and the 25 grain JSP redesigns. I think I'm gonna have to bump up the regulator just a little bit because I'm at 90 bar right now. So I'm gonna take this inside, get those heavier pellets dialed in, and then weather permitting, I will come back out and get some results for the heavier pellets. See you soon. All right, I just spent the last hour getting this all tuned up for the 22 cal, 25 grain JSP Exact Jumbo Monster redesigns. This pellet's flown very good for me in the past, so I have pretty high hopes for it today. I had to do quite a few adjustments to get it there. Regulator 2 is set at about 120 bar. My power wheel is at 6. The quick tune system is a little bit over 3 now. And the valve return, you know, it's just, there's no defined markings. You just have to really listen to it with your ear to make sure that it's closing the valve quick enough and not wasting any air. So, yep, I got the 25 grain redesigns shooting at 890 feet per second, and it seems really happy. So, let's get it sighted in and put some 5-shot groups on paper. Yeah.
Airguns.
That was pretty good. Damn, I feel like I messed up one of those shots. What do you say we shoot another 5-shot group with the redesigns? We'll just go to the left of it. Alright. Just dialed it back down to just about 900 feet per second with the H&M Barracuda match. 21 grain, 21.14 grain. see how they do. Not bad. Not bad at all. Just whipped out the dial caliper for those of you interested. Here are the results. Looks like our best group was actually the first group, which I believe was the JSP 18 grains, 0.47, and then 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. This 7, 8, and 9. Oh, get the camera on there. So they redesign, 0.6, 0.57, and then the H&N Barracuda 21 grain 0.69, say 0.7. Kind of hard to get exact measurements with these splatterburst targets. Probably prefer to punch a little bit of paper to get some exact measurements, but this gives us a general idea of well, how the pellets will group under typical conditions. You know, the Impact is really a tuner's gun. If you want to squeeze every last bit of perfection out of it, you could spend hundreds of pellets and hours on hours just fine-tuning each adjuster and seeing if your gun likes more hammer, less valve return, you know, or the opposite, and what the correct regulator pressure for the weight pellet you're shooting is. So it's got infinite possibilities. If you've got the time to adjust it, I'm sure that you can find the sweet spot where it's really happy shooting. Some more interesting results. So I shot 4 more groups with the 21 grain H&N Barracuda, and I think you're gonna really be impressed with some of these groups. And then I readjusted it and shot 4 more groups with the JSB redesigns. Also some good groups. We'll go take a look at those. But one observation I made I wanted to share with you was I was using this little FX chronograph on the end of the barrel here to readjust my velocity, and after shooting the 21 grain Barracudas, I switched back to the 25 grain redesigns, and after I got my desired velocity dial back in, I removed this off of the end of the barrel, and it actually shot about 2 mil high at 50 yards. So that took about 10 clicks to bring the point of impact down to where I was aiming. So if you're shooting with one of these, it's great to get your velocity, but make sure that you take it off and check your point of impact before you go out into the field. Surprise, surprise! Airgun. Let's take a look at these groups. On the right, we have 4 5-shot groups from the 21 grain H&N Barracudas. Take a look at this. This looks like just over 1 hole group. Again, just over a 1 hole group. And then it opens up a little bit here. And for the JSB redesigns, just over a 1 hole group. And then these opened up as well. Woo-hoo-hoo. Looks like we've got some competition, folks. Airgun.